I love Jimmy.
Welcome back to another episode of the We Love Gaming Podcast, episode 15. My name is Marcus, and as always, I have Mark and Ray with me. But today, it's not just us three. No, we have a special guest. Ray, why don't you tell us about this special guest?
Yeah, so we got a guy from YouTube called Chris Rivera.
Yep.
Am I saying that correctly? Chris Rivera. Yeah, like I'll give my little story here on how I met Chris. We kind of rated Ghost of Tsushima a little bit lower than what most people would have rated it.
Yeah.
And because of that, I was looking for other people who kind of agreed with us on that. And all the reviews that I looked up and all the reviews that I saw were all just praising it like a masterpiece. You know, like it was a perfect game, like there were no flaws. And I just kept looking and looking, and all the reviews I found that didn't review it ravely were like Xbox, like they just were haters on PlayStation.
So they were already crapping.
They were already just crapping on the game, or like maybe all they had seen was like
they hadn't even played it. They had just watched a trailer or something.
The the gameplay footage that they released before the game came out.
Yeah, they probably did just go off of strictly.
And so they didn't really have a good opinion until I came across Chris's channel. And he had his review video, and it was like exactly how we felt.
Oh, he crapped on it too.
Well, it was fair, right? You know, because he was fair with it, but he basically was, you know, very level-headed. You know, he had good reasons, good points for why he didn't like it, and so I was like, dude, this guy's like right up my alley. How we felt on the show. He's being very honest, you know, about his perspective. And then I jumped over to his Last of Us 2 review, and it was also like very level-headed. I liked his points. He backed up all his points very well.
Yeah.
And so we started to get into a back and forth a little bit on the Last of Us in the comments section.
Okay.
Because I'm not a fan of Abby, and now he really likes Abby. I still don't like Abby at all, really. He's going to have to do a lot to convince me of that. I don't know if he ever will. But anyways, I was like, you know, this is a good conversation. I kind of want to invite him onto the show. And so I tossed an invite, let the fellas know. They're like, yeah, let's get him on. And so here we are, you know, have Chris on the show, you know, ready to talk about some of these games.
Yeah, so welcome, Chris.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I feel like this week was kind of a tad dry on like gaming news. I mean, there was some things that were like semi-big, but for the most part, it was nothing like grandiose. Yeah. You know, we're sitting here waiting for the Xbox Series X to drop a price, the PS5 to drop a price. Nothing. Just another quiet week.
Nothing. They're playing chicken with each other for sure.
Dude,
yeah,
it's terrible.
Man, they are literally gonna smash into each other on release day, and then it's just gonna be surprise. Here's the price.
It's funny because there like was a lot of stuff released, but it all felt like kind of shallow, right? So it's kind of like you're saying, like it seemed like we had Gamescom, we had like these leaks, we had like Mario Direct, Nintendo Direct, all these things happened, but they all kind of felt lackluster.
Right, yeah, because nobody cares about Nintendo, right? but speaking of Nintendo, they did have their Direct, and they showed off a couple of things. You know, Super Mario 3D, Super Mario 64.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? It was a couple of other little things, but you know, stopping at Super Mario All-Stars 3D. You know, what'd you guys think of that, Mark? What'd you think?
So when I first saw this, I was pretty hyped because for the Super Nintendo, I love Super Mario All-Stars. Okay. I like on one disc you get multiple games.
Yeah,
because
that's awesome.
These Super Mario games are timeless to me. So when I first saw it, I was really hyped because I only played, just like Sir Knight, a Super Mario 64 start to finish.
Okay.
The other games, Super Mario Sunshine,
yeah.
I played it. I never beat it. And then the Super Mario for the Wii, I never even played it once.
Which one was that one?
Galaxy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm really happy to revisit these for $59.99. I think that's a fair price. It's about $20 a game. So for these timeless games, I think that's very fair. The only thing I don't like is you only have until March 2021 to buy this. So Luckily, there's physical copies in existence. They're gonna do physical and digital,
Right.
so you will be able to buy it.
It's limited physical, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
real limited,
if you
I
really
think.
want it next year and you just gotta switch, you will be able to buy it. But who knows how much it's gonna be?
Get taxed from that reseller fee. Or
Yeah.
something, probably.
Who knows? How much it's gonna be next year? But I think it looks good. With high definition 1080p. To be able to play it in your pocket on the Switch, it just makes sense. So I'm really hyped for this, and I'm happy that they announced this. What about you, Sir Knight?
Yeah, dude, like this is super exciting. Like I definitely skipped over the Wii generation. Like I didn't even have a Wii, so I didn't even have a chance to play Galaxy, and that was like always one of the games that I wanted to play, mostly on Wii. It looked incredible, and like the little clip they gave us in the direct looked great. Like the graphics looked solid, because they remastered the graphics 1080p. So like that game looked great, but like you can't say enough good about Mario 64. Like that game was revolutionary. Like in my opinion, it changed gaming. It set the standard for 3D world, development. Like all games follow that standard, that fully three-dimensional physicality. I mean, vertical, physicality. Like it's just incredible. Like they were visionaries with that game, and I think that changed gaming forever. And that's the only one I actually ever played. But I never got a chance to play Sunshine or Galaxy. Okay. So these are like high quality, incredible games. All of them are like, critically acclaimed, and you get all of them on one disc. Like that's incredible. I think it's totally worth $59.99. Yeah.
How'd you feel about it, Chris?
So I haven't played any of those three for any extended period of time. When I was like younger, I didn't have a lot of gaming stuff. Like I just didn't really play that many games. But I think them bringing it back is really cool. It's certainly putting it on the Switch. So I might maybe pick it up at some point because I have a Switch. And
Nice.
it'd be cool to go back to those. But
right,
it really rubbed me the wrong way with that. The timed exclusive or not exclusive, like timed release thing or whatever. Like it just felt like, because this is an argument I've had with other friends where we were like, all right, so Nintendo's always had problems with supply and like selling things. And we're like, okay, so they're either like artificially shortening their supply of things or they're kind of incompetent. And we went back and forth and we were like, okay, well, which one is it? And with this, we were just kind of scratching our heads like, I don't know why they're doing it. Like, I don't see but I don't see like a reason, like for I understand that for the physical, which is, it's annoying, but I understand that. But for like the digital, I'm like, what are you doing? Like what?
When you want to make money,
what was the first option?
Why would you not?
You gave? There was two choices.
They're either artificially shortening it or they're incompetent. And for other things like, for other things like, but with stuff like, was it the what do they do? They've remade the old consoles, or like they had that like didn't they release those like special editions of the SNES and stuff or whatever? They artificially shortened the supply of that, or it seems they might have, because they didn't have very many of those for sale, and so that would be the argument of, oh, they're trying to make it more exclusive to pick it up, so to get more buzz or whatever, which feels, I mean, I can, at least that has something behind it and feels a little weird, but at least that, like, I can explain that. But with the digital one, I'm like, okay, well, why? Because it's not like it's I don't know. I guess it's just trying to
hard drive space.
Yeah, I guess it's trying to like seep into people's FOMO and like get them to go, oh, I gotta purchase it. But I feel like that, it's Mario Sunshine and 64 and like Galaxy. I think people would just purchase that anyway. Like those are like three of like
they don't want
the most famous games. Like, yeah, I don't know. That part was just weird to me. I feel like they would have been just as fine if they hadn't done the limited release for digital.
Right. Yeah. I think they're doing like Disney, right? Like they release movies to the vault. They're like, hey, you want Beauty and the Beast? You have to buy it by this time, or it's going in the vault.
Oh man.
So they, Disney can release it in abundance. Yeah. But they do that same strategy with all their old movies. Hey, Peter Pan's going in the vault. Buy it by this date.
Yep.
And then they release a special Blu-ray version of it. People buy it, put it back in the vault, and then a year later, oh, Disney Plus, you can watch it.
It's artificial hype. It's artificial scarcity. It's
technique.
definitely that because there's no incompetence. You just leave it on the digital store for indefinite. Like it doesn't cost them anything to do that.
It's the work's already been done. It's literally a digital file that people can just keep on downloading, and you can keep on making money. But I'm gonna have to disagree with like a couple of you guys because I feel like I shouldn't be paying for Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario 64, Super Mario
not paying
3D. Like I feel like it
should be free.
I feel like it should be free. It should be. It should be just like
I think 60 may be too much, but I don't know about.
Definitely way too much.
I think like $30 would be pretty solid for that.
Exactly. Like if you're trying to charge me 30 for like this little compilation joint, I might could rock with it. But you're trying to charge me 60 bones for some stuff that you just remade. Like you didn't give me new levels. You just spadazzed it up a little bit and threw some glitter on it. And then you're trying to resell it to me. Like if I already played them, I bought them a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean they are still playable on those consoles.
See, I disagree mainly because at least with Galaxy looks every bit as good as any Switch game launched today.
That's not saying much because Switch ain't really outproducing everything. So it's like
I'm saying right, but we paid $60 for one game, Mario Odyssey.
Then,
still,
that was how many years ago?
No, just recently, the Switch game that just launched, Mario Odyssey, the most recent Mario.
Okay,
we just paid $60 for that, and and Galaxy is every bit that game, and Sunshine is close, N64 isn't, Mario 64 isn't, but. That's Nintendo's. Those are their styles. Like these are high quality AAA games that you can't get anywhere, and that's the market rate. Look it up. How much could it? Yeah. How much would it cost you to buy all three of those games right now?
A lot, over $100.
Yeah, but that's neither here nor there. All I'm arguing
the market rate matters.
All I'm arguing is that if these games came out so long ago, how can they justify bringing it out again? And trying to charge me the same price as their brand newest idea, Odyssey or whatever.
Because from my perspective, Nintendo looks at all their IPs as the value that they are when they launched. Like that's how Nintendo. It's same with Disney, right? Like Disney's not going to say, oh, because Beauty and the Beast came out, 20 years ago, therefore it's decreased in value. Like they look at their IPs as a standard value rate that they created. Their game is still unique and special no matter what era it is.
And I've never agreed with that. I don't agree with a game that came out at launch on Nintendo Switch to still be $60 today. And we're like, what?
That's Nintendo, like, that's my nuts. Guy. You ever seen Mario Kart on the Wii? That John was $60 for the entire lifespan of the Wii.
And it doesn't make any sense because every other game console will lower the prices of their old games, but Nintendo doesn't.
Yeah, Nintendo doesn't like doing sales.
How are they on some superior pedestal?
People pay it though, so I don't really know.
Well, I avoid it. If I know that game came out when it first, I'm not picking it up. I'm just not. I will just miss out on it, and they'll be like, oh, yeah. So hey,
I just looked them up after Ray mentioned the third party values.
Yeah.
So if you get the cheapest ones on eBay, buy it now. You're paying $30 for Super Mario 64. Mm-hmm. You're paying $10 for Super Mario Galaxy, and you're paying $60 for a jank copy of Sunshine. So that puts you at a total of
At that point, I'm not buying it.
But that's the market value.
Yeah.
Like, it may not be worth it to you. That's fine, but that's still the market value.
That's like the retro market value. Like, so we're not valuing Super Mario Brothers from Nintendo. We're not valuing like all of those other games from the Super NES that they released in a little compilation grab bag for the Nintendo Online. We're not valuing those at anything.
I don't know what you mean. Yeah, we are.
All of the online access that they give you, like they give you access to like a certain group of Nintendo games, old school Nintendo games to play
for free,
Super Nintendo games to play for free. So we're undervaluing. We're saying those are trash enough to give you those for free, but we're not going to give you any of this other stuff like from GameCube and from the Wii U and all of that stuff. We're not going to give you those because is it not old enough? Like what are we basing
market
off of
value?
Like their values now?
The market value.
I mean, it's. So Super Mario Brothers is a great game. They keep on bringing that crap out, like the same stuff over and over.
If I can get those games like Sunshine and 64 and Galaxy for $10 each, then I would be super pissed if they're charging me 60. But then I would still understand a little bit because I'm getting it on the modern console. I don't have to have the past consoles. I'm getting updated graphics, and I'm getting the convenience of having them all three on one disc. So there's still value there too. So for me, it makes a lot more. It's fine. It's not a problem.
Yeah, for me, it's not either because you always pay that Nintendo tax. The cartridges are made in Japan. It's more expensive than getting your games from Mexico, like Xbox and wherever else PlayStation games are printed. But
see, you guys are more reasonable than me because I would see that as like, okay, well, I'm never getting it. I mean, if I didn't buy it when it first came out for the systems that it was originally created for, I'm not buying it now. If it was at a reduced price, I could see it being something of value, but you're not going to try to charge me $60 for a Crash Bandicoot game that came out in 2000. And you just, re-spadazzed it up and brought it to me. I'm not paying for that. I'm not paying for
that's understandable.
Anything that's, that was already previously released and I could have got it or maybe did get it at that time. And you just, you didn't give me anything new. You just made it look better a little bit.
I'm just saying, from Nintendo's perspective, this is a deal. Because you're getting three games in one.
Yeah, that's what it is. But it's just like, the Xbox being $600 or whatever, certain games that you could try to buy that aren't going to do the next gen jump up for you. Like, it is what it is. You're going to make your decision whether you want to play it or not, right? If EA Sports wants to charge $70 for a game, if you want to play it, this is what it's going to be.
Exactly.
I don't want to play that, so I'm not going to pay for that stuff. But
yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Right. So, moving on. One of the other things that was put out there was Nintendo Game and Watch, another little handheld system.
Sorry, were you going to say something?
I thought Chris was trying to say something.
Oh, no, it's fine. I was just going to, I was kind of say like, with on the point of how do you value, the older games versus these that are newer. I think 2D holds up a lot better than 3D. Like, you can go and play one of the old 2D Marios on a SNES and it still holds up fine. Whereas getting the update of the HD in a 3D space and on a new console with better and more reliable controller might be a nice improvement over those, because or a more sizable of an improvement, even though it isn't anything super major. So I think that could help at least make it more worthwhile to get an updated version of it. And I also think that, from Nintendo's perspective, everyone's going to buy it still. They're going to sell. Why not sell it for that? If they that's just their MO. They always do that. So.
And they sell.
They expect it. Yeah.
So I don't think anyone's going to pay $60 for Crash Bandicoot. It's not Mario.
I wouldn't.
I think it just depends on your audience too. Like that's the market value. People are going to pay $60 for that game. They are. Millions. They're going to sell millions of copies of that. Anyways. Moving on.
So again, the Nintendo Game & Watch was introduced, and that looks like it was just another handheld console, just a retro version.
Yeah, so it's going to include 3 games. It's going to have the original Super Mario. It's going to have Super Mario 2, which it was called in Japan, but over here it was called
Super Lost
Mario,
Stories, right?
Levels.
The Lost Levels or something like that,
yep.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be there's going to be a Game & Watch ball, but instead of having the Game & Watch character, it's reskinned as Super Mario. So,
okay.
And it's going to have a color screen, a nice little
full
color.
LCD color.
Did they give a price on that?
Yeah, so it's going to be $49.99.
Okay, so $50 for 3 games.
Yeah,
3 old games.
Yep, 3 old games. But you get a cool physical retro in your pocket.
And it's a watch, guys.
Yeah, 2-inch screen or so.
I'm not buying that.
all right. So Chris is getting it. Okay.
Yeah. From a collector's standpoint, I would want this
for collectors
just to have it. Even if I
That's
never
fair.
played it, I would like to have it. I like how it looks. I would, bust it out maybe on a holiday.
Does it got an HDMI port?
No.
Okay. All right.
I know, right?
All right, what about you, sir? How you feel about it, man?
Dude, I actually
salivating for it, huh?
Actually, I was expecting it to be more than 50.
Really?
Yeah, knowing Nintendo, I was actually expecting it to be like 100 or something. I mean, people would buy it still. Like I was actually shocked when I saw the price. I was like, okay.
You thought it was a steal, huh?
This is like how arrogant Nintendo is. Like they're launching this on November 13th. This is their console competitor, right?
Yeah.
Hey man, I'll give them one thing though, right? We know the date, we know the price, we know what games we're getting.
Dude,
they're crushing Sony and Xbox. Right?
I'd prefer that everyone use the strategy of don't say anything about it and then go, okay, here's the thing, it exists, it's coming out in a month. Here's the everything about it. I'd prefer that than I'd prefer than here. Does it come out tomorrow?
No, I'm just saying. Like,
oh, okay. I was like, does it actually?
Hey, it comes out tomorrow. Here's the price.
Yeah, I'd rather everyone does that as opposed to the like, oh, look at this JPEG graphic for a game that you won't see for 6 years. Yay!
Yeah, I know they've been doing that a lot lately. I'd rather it be, don't show anything until it's ready to be shown, right?
Yeah,
I agree with Chris completely.
Mm-hmm. About you, Golly? What do you think about this game?
Would you buy this for your kids, Golly?
Hell no. $50, bro? I'd rather buy my kids a tablet or something like that, man. It's like I said again, it's old games. They just trying to cover like some nostalgic basis. This seems like some pocket thing that should be like $20. I'd buy it if it was like $20, possibly. You know, if I was like feeling for it and I had like a gift card or something, I might blow it on that. But I'm not dropping 50 for 2 games and a watch.
Hey, but I did hear it's like a game board motherboard, a micro game board where people are saying you can mod this and play other NES games on it. So I did hear like that it's going to probably follow that. That's what Nintendo usually does. They just implant like their game board or whatever into these consoles, and then you can mod them and you can play other games on them. Like that might be interesting.
That actually might be pretty cool.
Yeah, that might be something that's like, worth playing with. Again, if it was $20.
Yeah, this is something I would say is 20.
Some old stuff.
But
and it's not even HDMI port. Just throw me one in there, man, just for hoo-has. Let me be able to play it on the TV.
Hey, the Switch Lite doesn't have it. This ain't having it.
Where are you at on this, Chris?
For what? The
Game & Watch.
I'm not buying it. Like, sure, if you are a big Nintendo fan and you want to get this sweet limited collectible, go for it. It's not too expensive. $50 isn't that bad. Would I ever pick it up? Hell no. There's no reason for me to buy it. Why would I do that?
It's a hard no. Even if at 20, I think I'd pass.
For me, I would for sure.
Yeah,
I wouldn't get it.
It holds its value.
Yeah, I mean, for a collector, if you're interested in that, like if you're a Nintendo fan and you want that, either the novelty of playing those old games or just having it again, like just having it as a collector's item, that makes sense. But I'm not invested in any of that, so I wouldn't even buy it if it was $5.
Damn.
I
mean, there's just no need for it.
I don't think I would ever play it. Actually, I just don't think I would.
You would have purchased it to sit on the shelf. I would think you would play it out once or twice, and then you'd be like, okay, that's nifty.
It'd be a nice background prop for a video.
Yeah.
I'd rather just buy a box off of eBay and put that on the shelf.
Yeah, I'll sell you the box. You said $20. You got the box I don't know. I think this is a cool little gift potentially for the holidays.
Oh, yeah.
You do a white elephant gift exchange, Secret Santa. This is a cool little here you go.
Yeah, not bad.
I'd be like, hey, you got that receipt?
$50. I want to go buy a AAA title.
You're like, damn, does Walmart sell this? I know I can return anything at Walmart.
That's right. Yeah. Nintendo cashing on that white elephant market.
Guess so.
Yeah. So also one of the things that was announced this week or shown this week was it was announced, right?
Yeah.
It was Tokyo Game Show 2020.
Yep.
Yeah, and the big news of this, segment is that Xbox and Sony both said that next gen wasn't going to be there, and Microsoft is going to be there. Xbox will be there, talking about like Minecraft and some junk no one cares about. And but their next gen's not going to be there.
No next gen.
Like what shocked me about this, the biggest thing that I was shocked about was that Tokyo Game Show isn't until September 24th to the 27th. That's the end of this month.
Yep.
And we're just now finding out, right, the beginning of September, that they're not going to be at the Tokyo Game Show. So what does that tell me? We're not learning anything about next gen this entire month.
Yeah, September's going to be dry.
So we're 2 months away. No, actually, the best we can hope for is information a month before it launches. This is
the month of
October.
Yeah, October, right? October is like the best we can hope for
Yes,
getting new information, and that'd be a month because we believe it's launching in November. We have like a month to learn about these consoles. I mean, I'm shocked. I'm blown away. I would, if someone told me there is a next gen console coming out this year, I would say I wouldn't believe them. Yeah, there hasn't been any information.
There's just been a couple of commercials, a couple of ads, but other than that, like it's so lost.
All leaks, all speculation, all pictures. Like, we haven't even had a physical console for people to go, like journalists to go and like look at and feel and hold and actually see how big it looks
for the PlayStation.
You know, this is ridiculous. I'm appalled.
So with that being said, will you even be paying attention to what Xbox shows because it's not next gen?
Nah.
Okay, so it's not even worth your time looking at it. Like, no next gen, no watch.
I mean, I'll watch it for the show. But like, if I was just like a normie, I wouldn't be watching into it, man.
All right, what about you, Mike?
So I'm pretty excited for this show.
Also,
okay. Did you see that they're having a Hearthstone? Sorry, this is a side topic. They're having a Hearthstone tournament during the game show.
Oh, really?
It's on the calendar.
I'll watch that.
I thought that was interesting.
I'll watch that.
So shout out to Blizzard, for throwing that in there. But I'm excited because like Level 5 is one of my favorite like Japanese game studios.
Okay.
And they're showcasing some games. So I'm hoping, maybe they show Professor Layton or some new games.
They're gonna show Windbound.
Don't hope for next gen, man.
But I'm excited for some of these studios that are gonna be present. Although they're not showing next gen, I wonder if some of these games are gonna be
available.
Right.
Like ported over or something.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that we might get some of those nuggets. Like, hey, it's coming out now, but you can also play it on PlayStation 5.
I feel like they wouldn't even. I feel like at that point, right, it would be like some sort of a deceit or something like that, because if you tell me there's no next gen, but then you show me games that will be on next gen, that seems like that would be hurting you, right? Because people would tune in more if they knew next gen stuff was coming.
Yeah.
So why would you tell me no next gen?
Yeah.
And then show next gen?
Exactly.
Like, it wouldn't make any sense.
In Sony's defense, they said nothing.
Yeah.
So they're
it's
not
only
being
Microsoft,
there.
right?
Microsoft said no. So maybe Sony could. So not Sony itself, but maybe Level 5 is working on a PlayStation 5 game and they can show it. So that's to be determined. But Microsoft straight up said
no next gen.
But shout out to Microsoft Japan because at least they're gonna be there. The Microsoft Japan division is gonna be at the game show, but Sony just straight up not there at all.
Yeah, I mean maybe it just means that Sony itself won't be having their little own.
Yeah, they're not having a booth.
But there'll be
the
other developers that show. Oh, it's like
that's
something
the hope.
on PlayStation 5. Yeah.
So Marcus hoping that.
Yeah, but right now it's all just.
It's all hearsay.
It's RNG.
Yeah.
It's RNG.
I personally speculate that Sony/Microsoft is planning to do their own release before this. So, they're like, hey, we're not announcing it there, but we're going to do it before.
If I was Sony, I'd do a whole event during Tokyo Game Show.
A separate event?
Or during Xbox segment time. Just to see who tunes in. Like, hey, you really want to know about next gen? Like, check this out.
Yeah. So what about you, guys? Are you excited for this event?
Nah, I honestly didn't even know there was a such thing as a Tokyo Game Show because there are so many freaking game shows and conventions and everything else that I was just like, oh, this is a thing? Oh, okay, cool. The fact that there's no next gen on there, presumably, is kind of disappointing. I'll probably end up checking it out, seeing like some of the games that pop up or whatever, especially if it's at work. I'll definitely, have some time to let it play in the background or whatnot. But yeah, I guess, it's just like whatever to me.
It's not about next gen. Who cares, right?
Yeah. I'm really just focused on the next gen stuff. I want to know this damn price, and if they ain't coming up with no price, I don't want to hear half the stuff you're giving me. You know what I mean? Because I want to see it on the next gen. I want to hear about it. How much it's costing me? Are you trying to charge me 70? Like what? What's the deal? You know.
Right.
So I'm trying to find out that. But
So Chris,
what about Chris?
where are you at on the price? What do you think next gen consoles are going to cost?
Oof. 500 or 600. One of those two. It's 100% going to be at least 500. I think. I don't think they're not going to go 400. That would be, I think, for what is in the console, what we know, which is around a 2070 Super in terms of performance if we compare it to a PC, which is pretty good. Although the next gen PC cards just got announced to be launching, and they absolutely trash everything else, which is super awesome. I can't wait to spend too much money on those, but they with that just where that card sits in the price range is like normally I don't foresee them, like they're certainly not going to go on the cheaper side of things for how much just what's in the console. It's certainly worth the money for power wise, because it is, based on what we know of the actual specs, we can't actually see it. We don't know for sure until it's like tested, because reading numbers can only tell you so much. But it seems to be around like that 2070 Super performance and a like 3700 CPU, which is a really good PC. And so seeing that in a console will be nice. And I'm super excited to replay some stuff at 60 FPS. Like I can't wait to go back to God of War and Last of Us 2 at 60 FPS on the PS5. So I think it's going to be in that 500, 600 range though.
So let me ask you then, if it's just going to be expensive and like they can't help it, then why are they waiting so long to just announce the price? Like,
they're playing chicken, 100%.
Because
they don't want to.
Microsoft wants to undercut Sony, right?
Microsoft probably wants to undercut Sony. Sony probably wants to undercut Microsoft. They don't want to be the one. Like you never want to be the first one to go, because it's very easy for them to just be like, ours is 600, and then. Like Microsoft says ours is 600, and then Sony goes ours is 550, or I don't know if
so if Microsoft announces $500, Sony's just gonna price it the same, or are they gonna undercut them?
I don't know.
Sony does that. Is Microsoft gonna undercut them?
I don't know why you would just.
At 5, I don't think they would go under 500. No. So if they were doing that, I think they'd be the same. But I don't. It's weird because I know they want to. I don't know what they're doing, but I really think they're playing chicken, because they've had 4 opportunities now, like to announce it. They each had like 2 separate events,
right?
Like there was Sony's tech event, there was Sony's PS5 announcement event where they like released the games, which was the best event because we at least saw like a solid chunk of games there.
Yeah,
Xbox. Yeah, Xbox had 2 game demo events. The first one was gameplay event, and they showed no gameplay. Yeah. Then the second one they showed a little bit more gameplay, but yeah, I don't know. I think they were playing chicken for a while. I also think that like one of the reasons Microsoft hasn't done anything is, well, both are affected by COVID-19, that's for sure, in their production and whatnot, but Halo Infinite, it's not looking good, and not because I'm saying like, oh, the demo looks bad. I'm just like, behind the scenes, they not only their creative director left like a year ago, and they had a new person get on. They delayed it recently, and just after the delay, they brought on a new lead to help with the campaign. And I'm thinking, this game was supposed to be out in 2 months, and they're bringing on a new lead to help finish it. Like, I'm like, I think they were really behind. And so they're not going to have that at launch. I'm like, they're not going to have anything really big at launch on there.
Which is why
I don't know what they're going to do. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do.
I think these consoles.
They might have to.
Sony, we were talking about this last time. God, they saw him brought this up, and I looked up the article, and he's right.
Well, Sony shouldn't delay. Sony will be on time.
Sony said that they were ramping up production to 10 million consoles for the holiday season.
They sounded hella confident that they were going to have consoles for everyone.
And then they're doing this VIP pre-order. Like, that sounds like they don't have enough consoles. I'm like, what's going on here,
It
man?
sounds like they were bluffing the hell out of Microsoft.
Yeah.
Just trying to see if Microsoft would give something
Nothing adds up.
Nah,
You
I
know,
think
by leaking
Sony
articles.
should. There's no reason Sony shouldn't deliver, even if they have that shortage. Microsoft is on the ropes right now. Microsoft is about to lose 2 generations in a row because of the fact that they don't have anything to offer right now for the Xbox. Like their biggest draw was the new Halo, and that game has been delayed for a while. I don't know when it was got delayed to, but like that is a huge L to start. So Sony should just strike, even if they're like, oh, we'll have a shortage. Just strike, just release it. Get Miles Morales out. Get people to buy it, and you'll already have a huge advantage in this next generation of console.
Yeah, see, this is why I think we could see a console less than 500, because I think Microsoft has to win the price war. They don't have a choice. Like, I think they're hoping that Sony's console is more than 500 so they can sell theirs for 500.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to win the price war. They're going to have to. There's no reason to buy an Xbox.
There's none, because you get everything on PC. Because, like, I look forward to Xbox exclusive, like, the games they make. I'm hoping they make, they get more studios. Like, they had a Ninja Theory, which is they're doing the new, the second Hellblade, and they just purchased Obsidian to work on some new stuff, which is cool. So I'm like, I want them to keep doing that, but I want them to keep doing that because I'm just going to end up playing it on Game Pass for PC when they come out. Like, I don't think there's much of a real reason at this point to buy an Xbox, like, at least, especially not at launch. I mean, like, they're not offering anything.
And Microsoft openly made a comment on someone's podcast where they said they're not concerned about making exclusives.
Right.
They want things on the PC and the Xbox. So that's not their strategy. I think their strategy is going to be their, gaming as a service with Game Pass.
Yep.
As well as all these Xbox
the xCloud, whatever.
The xCloud.
xCloud is a big one.
And they're going to undercut with the Series S. So I feel like they're willing to take the L on the Series S. But I think the high-end Series X is going to be the same exact price.
So you think it's all about the Series S then? So Microsoft is holding off on the price for the Series S then?
So the X is just a dummy.
So the X is just going to be what it is?
Yeah, because, I mean,
because they can't announce the X without the S, right?
Right.
Okay.
Because, I mean, both consoles have a pretty impressive SSD. The components can only go so cheap.
Right.
Even old PC hardware doesn't go down in value because, the precious metal that,
Right.
So they could only sell that one so cheap. But I feel like the Series S, because it's not going to have the same, GPU, it has less RAM, it's going to have a weaker, we probably won't see a hard drive, but it'll probably just be a cheap SSD in there. So I think that's going to be their flexible machine. The X is just going to be the same exact price.
Point.
I feel like their proprietary hard drives will probably their like memory cards, so to speak, that they're using for the Series X will probably be what they use for the S. I don't see why you wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like if you're making like proprietary slots on your X to fit these little things in.
Oh yeah.
Like to add more space and stuff. I feel like you would definitely include that into your S just because it'd be more money.
For sure.
And it's versatile. But yeah, man, I don't know what's going on with that stuff.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Thankfully, I only need to worry about the PS5 because that's the only thing I'm getting. So I'm just like, I don't need to worry too much about where they fall because I'll just be like, yeah, well, wherever that falls, I'll get it at some point.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with paying $5 a month for Game Pass for the PC.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like
that's a great price. Access to everything.
I was telling Mark this too, like. Why get an X when I can play all the Game Pass games on my one?
Yeah.
Like, why even buy it? So yeah, like my mind's only on PS5 right now, unfortunately.
And for the last NVIDIA cards, I know teraflops isn't like an apples to apples comparison, but the 3070, which is $499, is clocking at over 20 teraflops, whereas PS5 is at 10.5, Xbox Series X is at 12.
Yeah.
So.
No, the 3070, dude. Oh my God, that's supposed to be better than the 2080 Ti, and it's $500, which is
it's such a good value,
more than half the price, or less than half the price. I mean, like that is, that's great for PC. Like I'm super excited for that.
So
definitely,
So, in other news, this week, the Avengers, Marvel's Avengers dropped. And it looks like there was, I don't know, I seem to be seeing like two different sides of it. I come across people who like really love the game, who are playing the crap out of the game. And then, I come across reviews from users that state that the game is ass. Like it's only a bare minimum average game. So I mean, Ray, how are you
Yeah.
feeling about all of this hoopla going on?
I was pretty excited for Avengers. I was expecting a much stronger score than what it's getting. Like it's in the mixed, average area, low 70s, getting into the 60s zone score. On the aggregate score was into the low 70s. I mean, I had my reservations. If you guys listen to my past podcasts, like I've had my reservations on Avengers, primarily because I wasn't happy how they forced you to play every single character throughout the story. I more want to pick a character and build him and stick with it, and or switch to another one, when I want to. Because like if I wanted to play that guy, I wanted to play him all the way through. I don't like being forced, to switch characters midway through. Same with like some books, when you read a book and you're swapping perspectives, there's always that perspective that you don't want to listen to. It's like, this person again, I don't want to listen to that story again. I want to go back to who I cared about. And that's kind of like how I felt with this. But I hear the main issue, I hear the story is great. What I hear is the main issue is the grind is uninspired, unimaginative, just
The
boring,
gear grind
terrible. Yeah, the gear grind is really terrible from what I'm hearing. So that's disappointing. It's really put a damper on my desire to want to get this and play this game. I think I'm right now I'm a no right now. I'm waiting for Gotham Knights.
Yeah, for sure, man. But that's off like another 2 years or so.
But I'm so disappointed.
Yeah. What about you, Mark? How do you feel about it?
So I made this comment at the end of the night, but I maybe spent 5 hours watching it on Twitch so far.
Yeah.
But when I was going to Twitch on launch, I saw it on the top 3. I was like, oh, wow, this game has 118,000 viewers. And I was like, oops, this is Fortnite. Fortnite released the skins.
Oh, yeah,
the
thumbnail version. Yeah.
So I was like, all right, let me scroll through the list. Oh, 22,000 people playing this during prime time, peak after work.
It just launched.
Just launched? Wow, this is not very good. So I was keep in mind, I haven't played the game. So this is all based on observation.
Yeah.
So
outside looking in.
So watching the game, it looks like it plays great. It's smooth. The characters look like they're all unique. But my problem. Going back to something I like, the whole time I always vision this game as Destiny with a Marvel skin, right? Good thing about Destiny is the end game was fantastic.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. The raids were great. The boss fights were awesome. Whereas in this game, the boss fights don't look that great. The mechanics are kind of like, the same thing I said about Mortar Show. The boss fights during the campaigns and stuff is kind of predictable. Right. I feel like a average player with no strategy, I'm just gonna face tank every boss. I feel like you could just beat the whole game like that. And the end game, I didn't really see much raids and things like that. It could, that could be down the road when everyone's leveled up.
I feel like it's probably like Destiny's motto. They didn't have raids until
a couple months, like 3 months.
But they were ready. They were ready. They were just holding them off until people got to high enough light level.
They wanted you to get acclimated. Right. They wanted you to grind, get your level up and stuff, and then we're going to introduce the raid.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that there's better end game, because from what I was watching, it looked kind of boring.
That was the complaints, dude. Was end game.
Yeah.
Complaints.
Like I said, I haven't played the game yet. So what were you gonna say, Chris? What are your thoughts?
Well, I have played the game. I've played the beta for 3.5 hours, and I've watched some more. So what your guys' concern seems to be correct, like on that level of like the grind and the end game certainly seemed like a concern. For me, I didn't like it like at all, and it falls under 3 big issues I have with it. Okay. And the first is that the game feels like 3 games that are trying to mesh together that aren't, because it's like they really want to be Destiny, but they don't want to go full Destiny because they still want to have like a AAA, modern cinematic campaign. And so you're like weaving in and out of the campaign stuff, and then you're back to like the weird open world Destiny stuff, because there's open world levels that are literally just like you take like the open sections in like Destiny 2, those like the big areas where there's like, oh, there's the side boss stuff, but then there's the couple main things you got to go around and do. I was playing that and I'm like, this is literally just like the same exact like layout of how it works. So it's very Destiny in that regard, but then they also, the biggest thing for me is that with the gameplay itself was that the characters, they're Marvel characters. They're the Avengers. Like, they couldn't be any more iconic and unique in their character design and whatnot. But when I played it, all of them felt the same. Like, they all had it was literally I played on PC, so left mouse was your standard attack, right mouse was your ranged attack, F was the button that you used to break a shield, and everyone had that. So the animation was different. Iron Man would do like a charge up, Hulk smash, someone else would do like a big kick, but F was always the shield break button, right click was always the ranged, left mouse was always the main attack. And then 1, 2, and 3 were your superpower things, which were just different variants of like, I don't know, power-ups, but they were all relatively similar. Oh, and Q was either like heal or charge, where you get like bonus damage or something. And only like 2 of them were different, with like Black Widow has a grappling hook and she always has guns, so she's firing, and like Iron Man can fly. But yeah, like that was like, other than that, they kind of all, I was like, I played through like with all of them, because you'd like, someone said earlier, like you kind of jump around a lot. And so I played through all of them, even in the beta, and I was like, man, they all feel the same. Like, it's like I'm still clicking the same 3 button combos. Like, it's just, okay, now I'm doing it as Thor. Okay, now I'm doing it as Hulk. Okay, now I'm Captain America. And I was like, one of the cool things about Destiny was like you said, like you said you wish you could have gotten a character and leveled up, and I totally agree. Like, in Destiny, it was like, okay, are you the hunter? Are you the warlock, or are you the titan? And it was like, there's
you were
all
forced to have different gameplay on that.
There's like
had different fighting skills. Like, it was never the same.
Yeah, it's a whole thing on like online too. It's like, oh, what do you play as a titan? Huh, you're a little bitch. Warlock gang. Like, you have like that back and forth, and it's like, it's they are unique play styles, and so it makes it more fun. At least I felt that way, to have that, because you can develop your skills for working as a team. You're like, okay, well, good, we have another Titan player that'll be good on this, that'll be,
Right.
You couldn't do that in this game, though.
No, it doesn't matter. I played through the campaign stuff, and then I did the multiplayer, and I'm not joking. My friend and I loaded in. We had 2 randoms with us, and we loaded into it was one of the first multiplayer things, which are like, they're essentially just mini raids, or like not even raids. They're like the mini. Yeah, they're dude. I wouldn't even call them a dungeon. We literally finished it in less than 3 minutes.
Oh my god!
We walked in there,
and we have to just destroy something at the very end.
You just walk down and destroy something, and that was it. And we were like, really that's quick. It. And we're like, okay, bro, no, that's a base level. Let's do another one. We did another one. Same thing. Are you serious? I'm like, bro, hold on. Change the difficulty. Make us like super under leveled, because we were on par. Like, we were playing at our level. 3 minutes. And then I'm like, all right, well, make us under leveled. So we took one that we were under leveled, and it took us like 3 minutes to kill a single enemy. And it was like, what the hell is this balancing? It's like stupid easy. Yeah, it's stupid easy if you're on level, and if you're slightly below level, they're bullet sponges. And I was like, man, that's not it. And like I said, it doesn't matter with the characters either. So
and you couldn't go in with the same character either. Like in Destiny, you can have 2 Titans, you can have 2 hunters, 2 warlocks, you can have 3 hunters.
No, you couldn't do that either.
No Titans.
You couldn't do that.
Like, you couldn't have, like, how lame is that, dude? That's so dumb. I can't believe that the direction they went with that.
Yeah.
Let there be 4 Hulks. Who cares?
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
no, it would be better if they also like, if each was unique, because that would be more fun too. If you would be like, oh, let's try a Hulk only run, and so you're just smashing everything. Like
sounds fun.
that
Dude,
would
that
be
sounds
way
fun.
more fun.
Yes, dude, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Let's fool around, Like, and what if we both like Hulk? Sorry, one of us has to choose not to play Hulk.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
Chris is right. When I was now that I reflect on me watching on Twitch, everyone is follow the same formula. Like originally I wanted to play Hulk, but I saw how slow his animations were and I didn't like it. But he's right. Like Hulk throws projectiles. He could just pick up a
They all
boulder
throw
and
projectiles.
Yeah,
Which
they all have a
yes,
long range attack.
Yes,
Which
they
that's
all
funny.
have it.
Yeah, because
That's
when
funny.
I think about Hulk, I'm like, okay, his weakness is like long range, but he's strong up close. He could jump. He could get places. When there's someone near, he'll jump and grab
Right.
him, and then
He should
But no,
act
he
like a
just-
tank.
yeah,
Yeah.
He should be
just
the
picks up
tank
boulders
class.
and
He
throws
should
them.
have to run up into the
Yeah,
face
and
of
take the
whatever it
heat.
is, be able
Everybody.
to
Yeah, you
manhandle
should be
it.
the one that can handle it up front, and then you have Black Widow in the
Right.
back
It's
doing
really
like the
unimaginative.
sitting,
And I was
sitting
watching
behind.
people play Hulk, and what turned me off was this dude was just chilling, throwing boulders, boom, just sniping people, and I was like, that doesn't
That's
seem
not
fun.
You
the
picked
Hulk?
up, you scooped up ground quick. Like you literally.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
Like a
fist, we'll throw
snowball.
it. It's like a
Like a
fist throw.
snowball.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it wasn't
a
no
big old
legit thing.
snowball.
But one of the issues that I had with it, because I got to play it in beta.
Yeah, you played it a
Um,
while too, right?
Yeah,
So,
I played it for a
Yeah.
couple of hours,
Yeah.
but the only character that I really wanted to play with was the Hulk. And that's just because I liked him a little bit better than Black Widow, because it seemed like she was really limited to her guns for most of the stuff. And, you could do the hand-to-hand combat, but it seemed like the guns were like the main primary thing.
Sound like Hulk
And-
with his
and-
projectile. Was the main
Yeah,
primary
but
thing.
what was crazy was that like it didn't matter if you were on metal, concrete, in the grass.
Oh, he was scooping it.
When he scooped up ground, it
It was
all
on
looked the
Rock.
same. It didn't have a different texture on it. It didn't scooped it and threw it.
That makes no
It was
sense.
the same motion,
It's
the
just-
same pieces flying off of it. You know what I mean? Same aspect. But another thing that kind of turned me off, and like I only played it the one time and I didn't even touch it again because I didn't have an interest to go back into it, was the fact that they have all this gear and the only thing that matters is the skins. It didn't
Bro, I
matter
was
if
about to
found a
say that they don't get new costumes. You have to get them in
Right.
like the
Oh my
the
gosh.
eShop, which is bullshit.
Exactly.
I don't want to pay
Like-
for them. Like,
That's
what the
terrible.
hell? That was one of the cool parts of Destiny. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I got like
You
the
get to see all your
the
gear.
special gun, and you can see it. Oh, I got
Yep.
this
Yeah, you
like
could
cool
see the
helmet.
boots.
You can see it.
the legendary boots on
Ugh.
them and stuff. Yeah, but like if I found a shirt for Kamala,
You can't see nothing?
if I found
No.
a shirt for Kamala that was a
Ugh.
common shirt and then compared it to a rare shirt that I put
Oh,
on, the
that's
only thing that
terrible.
changed was the stats.
Oh,
And
that's
she had
terrible.
the same shirt on it until I put on a new skin, and then it gave her a new look.
Oh,
So when I
that's-
see
that's a deal
that,
breaker for me.
the armor, all of the gear, that stuff
Oh,
is
that's
irrelevant.
terrible.
to
That's
me.
so pointless.
You could
That's
have
not
the
RPG.
posh-mosh of gear on just because it adds stats, and that's all you're focused on. Like, on any of the other games, like your character changes the way it looks.
Oh, that's
Hell,
RPG, man.
Diablo
Yeah,
changes the
you're
way it
role-playing.
looks
Every
when
game.
you put on
Every
a
game.
piece
You're
of
role
gear.
playing.
Yeah.
man.
So why
That's-
wouldn't I want that?
That's
Even
what I
a
was
little
saying with
bracelet
like
on there, even if it's got a charm and then you added 2 charms because
Yeah.
it's rare. Like, come on, give me something, man.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying with like it's like it feels like multiple games just they smashed together because like they took parts of other games but they didn't take what made those games work.
Great.
And so it feels like like they have the idea of the Destiny style like team kind of thing. We have the Destiny
Right.
style semi-open worlds. We have Destiny. We have looting, but it's not the same looting as Destiny. It's not.
Right.
It doesn't
It's not
work how
looting.
Destiny
Without
works.
it looking,
The
what's
raids don't
point?
work how Destiny raids work. It just
Let me
feels like
ask
they
you-
took the bare minimum of things.
Ray, let me ask you something. In Assassin's Creed Odyssey
Mhm.
and Origins, they started the RPG aspect, right?
You look.
Does your character
Yes.
change on each piece of gear that
Wow,
it has?
even
Yes.
Assassin's Creed.
So a game that literally focused on like whole clothing and stuff like
Dude, you
that
had dope
decided to
looks,
make
too.
every piece of gear visible when
Wow.
you put it on.
Yep.
And let me
Your
ask this to
weapons all
Chris.
changed the way they were supposed to look. What you grabbed a spear, it became a spear. You grabbed a sword, it became a sword.
Yeah.
See, I don't understand why that would be so hard. Like you made all of this time
Work,
to put
dude.
names
It
and
takes
stuff,
time
they
to
wanna
build
sell it
all
to you,
that, and they
that's
want
why.
to sell it.
but you're literally trying to market me Verizon. You're trying to market me
Dude.
Five.
Oh my God, that was so
This is
dumb.
what I was gonna
else.
say.
But you couldn't put the time in on
Dude,
the gear?
this is why I was saying before this launched when we first talked they're taking all that free money because
They're
you
just
don't
pocketing
know
that.
how successful your game's going to be. I'm thinking now they knew their game was not good,
And they were trying to get
and
everything
they were
they
trying
could
to
up
get
on the
everything
front
they
end.
could up front, which is why you saw it all over the place.
Right.
Because that's all we were talking about, how they were marketing out every single
Intel.
everybody, Intel, Gum, Sony, everyone was getting their free grab bag, of skins, and they were collecting all that money, thinking it was going to be this hit, and now it's flopping. And it sounds flop like terrible because you said on Twitch it's 20,000 viewers when it launched.
And check this out.
That's horrendous.
I went on eBay, so this is the second test of mine. Like games like Call of Duty, they hold their value on eBay, which is kind of shocking. But I went and checked last night. How much is it if I want to buy this game brand new, including shipping? $48.99.
Already.
Oh, wow.
Brand new copies for Xbox.
Not even 60
Already.
anymore.
Not even day one, sealed copies.
Man,
I'm
Anthem.
like, people
Anthem all over again.
So let me ask Chris and Golly Cyber on this too. So for me, when I looked at people's inventory, so I love just going through my inventory, all my items. I love itemization. All the items freaking look the same, like the little icons for the equipment. So like, let's say you get pants or chest item. All the chest items look the same. All the pants
So you can't
look the
decipher it.
same. Is that accurate, or was it just what I was looking at?
No,
I know when
that's
I was
pretty
looking
much.
at it in the beta, and Chris would have to tell me what it's like in the game, but I know in the beta everything looked the same. Like I was like, damn, which piece was the new one that I got? Like I had to flip through it and see which one had the better stats to know what was the actual new item that I had just gotten.
So not only does the items have no appearance, the actual item you get in your inventory
has no unique look either.
Yeah, the icons are all the same. It was the same like that in the regular game, right, Chris?
Oh, I played the beta as well as you, but
right.
yeah, no, it's that way. It's that way in the game too. I was watching my friend play it, and when he picked up something, it just looks like the same. Yeah,
dude,
yeah, that's nuts. The only thing that they decided to change was the shiny light beam of the gear when it dropped on the ground.
It also bothers me that you have to hold to open the crate, and it bothers me because you have to open so many of those crates. And they couldn't even give you like in Destiny where like the glowing orb drops on the ground and you can pick it up. They didn't even give you that. It just opens. The crate just opens. And I'm like, why did you have to like make me hold to open the crate? It's not even like you had to load like an object spawning or something, which is already stupid. But like, why? What am I holding it for? I got to open like, if I were to play this whole game, I'd open like 500 of these things. I don't want to wait like, a second and a half, 2 seconds every time I have to open a crate. Like, that's just so much wasted time.
Yeah, one of the other things that peeved me about the beta was that like when you smashed open like one of those glowing boxes or whatever, and it had like maybe some health orb or some type of experience or something in it, you literally, if you smashed it and then kept moving, you didn't pick up anything. So you would have to go back over it again just to make sure that you got
health orbs
everything that was in it. Health orbs, whatever. Like if it was in a box or something like that, like it wouldn't automatically pick it up. It wouldn't come to you. You know what I mean? Like it would just sit there on the floor as if you never touched it. You'd be like, damn, what's that? And you'd have to run over it again, and then it would come to you. And it's just man, like that's a waste of time. If I want to smash this stuff and keep going as the Hulk, I got to double back to make sure I picked up everything.
What a mess, man.
Yeah, so, I also didn't even like the story stuff because I felt like I have to give it a little bit of the benefit of the doubt because of the fact that when I played the beta, I know they cut some stuff out, but there were some moments that weren't cut out that just felt like weird, like just like tonal. Kamala is the biggest one. She feels like she's 6 years old constantly, and I know she's like a super fan, but like everything she says is like. It's like kind of ridiculous. Like she'll look at like a pencil and be like, "Oh my God, is this the pencil Tony Stark used to write his first?" Oh no, it's a pencil.
Right?
And I'm like, oh, all right, like,
area that had all that
oh my God, I know. She said, she knew who Jarvis was because she was searching for Jarvis, but when she finally got him back online, she said, "Oh my God, is this Tony Stark's supercomputer buddy?" And I'm like, "It's Jarvis. His name's Jarvis. You know his name's Jarvis. Why are you doing this?
Right,
just say hi."
Is that the stretchy limbs character?
Yeah.
So that's essentially just a grappling hook. She has grappling hooks.
She has a grappling hook too.
Yeah.
No, I thought
I'm saying her stretchy, but it's essentially a grappling hook.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
And her long range is just her arm gets really stretchy and punches stuff out of the sky.
That's the problem, man. When you give the game to the public, man, people are smart, like they break games apart and you see all these flaws, man, all these problems.
Those weren't even breaking it apart. It's just playing it, man.
No, but you could see like they probably kept the same combat model between each character, and like, oh, they just cut these corners like no one would notice. It's like, dude,
it's like a stretchy limb. It's actually just a grappling hook.
It's like the same combat model, and they just put another skin character on it, and they just change it up a bit the way.
I mean,
it looks,
that's how they all play the same. Yeah.
No, Chris is right. Now that I'm thinking about the game, I'm just seeing all the similarities of all the characters.
Because I remember playing Destiny. I was the hunter, and then I made a Titan, and I didn't really like playing it as much. I wanted to go back to my hunter. There was an actual feel to it, but I didn't like
the jump mechanics.
Yeah, it was just different feel.
Maneuvering,
the
all
powers were completely different. They weren't the same power reskinned as something else. So a shame.
But so another thing that had
kind of wasn't expecting
was like trickling out was Call of Duty. So we had, it looks like there was somebody in the gaming community who was spotted online playing a VIP escort mission or something like that. Multiplayer. And it looks like he was playing for quite a few minutes, and then I guess the devs found out that he was actually recording, and they pulled
Twitch
the plug.
dropped him.
They pulled that plug quick.
Can't remember the guy's name.
Yeah, I don't recall his name either. We'll just leave the name out.
It's not worth ever doing that, man. Like don't ruin your own like
Your
career or
chances of
something,
getting
or like
a pregame.
He's never getting it again.
He's done.
He's never getting.
Why, dog? It's gonna come out. We know it's Call of Duty. It's gonna come out in a couple months. Like, you don't need to leak it like that. Like, don't risk it.
So that's the thing. Some people were giving him the benefit of the doubt, right? Like if he was using OBS, maybe he clicked restream, start stream. I think he leaked it on purpose, huh?
He did it on purpose.
Wow. Watching the gameplay, he was straight trash, man. So
I
would have to assume that was an accident that he clicked that. Like, why would you want that game broadcasted, dude? Like, you literally ran out there doing some dumb slide thing. You shimmied, got shot all up, and then everybody else on your team got murked like real quick. Like, the game was over fast. It just didn't look like.
Moving on, I mean, I guess for why he did it, we don't know what he did. But what did y'all think though of like what you saw?
Nothing special.
What did you think, Mark?
So like when he's saying the sliding, that's what you do in Warzone. So I'm very familiar. That's how I move in Warzone. So I'm like, okay, I see some of the UI elements are slightly different. It's the same layout, but some of the HUD looks slightly different. I like the neon lights. That was a cool theme, but it looked like someone was playing on a PC. The graphics weren't amazing.
No,
it looked.
The graphics were so underwhelming to me.
Well, at least on the one that I saw, it was not in HD, so I can't really speak on that.
I do give that. Maybe that was the issue, because I don't know if it was an HD, because the feed I was watching wasn't that great, maybe, but it didn't. So I'll reserve my judgment for that. But what I saw there, I was not impressed.
Yeah, my mind wasn't blown there. The game type, it's new, but let's face it, when people play Call of Duty, objective-based games, they don't give two craps about that. All they do is want to get kills.
Mm-hmm.
So these aren't really popular modes. So it is weird that he would leak something like this, because this wouldn't get people hyped.
Because it was the new mode.
No, it might not be. That might have been the only thing that he was allowed to play. Because when they do pre-release stuff, sometimes they pick they handpick modes.
But it was a new mode that no one's seen before.
So I think that probably why.
No, but it was new. He wanted to be the first one to get out there.
And,
we all know it.
Sure did.
So other than that, I wasn't hyped for this. Then if he streamed zombies, I would have been more intrigued. But let's face it, for Call of Duty these days, all people play is Warzones. The multiplayer is the stepchild now. They're just, it's the second.
I think I would still play multiplayer over Warzone.
Really?
Because I don't know. I like the more quick, getting the action quicker rather than running around. I know there's two different feels there. Like there's a different feel to multiplayer versus Warzone. Like Warzone isn't doing what multiplayer does. Like the feel is different. So I can see why you would want to decide to choose to play one over the other. But you're right, everyone is playing Warzone. But there's a different feel to both of those.
Yeah.
I definitely would have gotten a little bit more excited if it had been like from the main campaign. Like if they had shown like some type of an action sequence or something like that you were in. But this, the multiplayer, it hasn't excited me in a long time. So, seeing it looked like it's just another type of, a kill zone type of map.
It didn't look that good to me, considering it's supposed to be like next gen. I don't know. I keep going back to that.
I
it
would
doesn't seem arcadey enough to me either.
Yeah, I would say for the next gen thing, just as a general rule of thumb, it's gonna be hard to start qualifying things as next gen based on how they look now, because we've reached a point where things are like
kind of
there's not that much farther we can go at the moment. We're not going to see like a huge leap. Like Xbox 360 to Xbox One was big, but like I think a lot of the next gen feel of these games is going to be in the smaller details, like the loading times,
I think
streaming in, the LODs, how much they can pack. So it's hard to give it that stamp until we've kind of seen how like it all functions.
I'm going to though, because they're charging me $10 additional, calling it
Are
next
they?
gen. You know, yeah, it's $70 for this. If I want to buy this on my PS5, and it's like, if you're going to be charging me next gen prices, then I need to be getting next gen looking games. You know, if it, like for instance, I wasn't nitpicking Valhalla because I knew it was going to come out for 60. Is considered it's going to be next gen. It's going to be current gen graphics with the next gen upgrade. Same with Cyberpunk, but I'm super picky. Like I'm extra picky on this game because they're one of the games that are charging me additional money.
So
I'm extra picky.
You're going to get a higher frame rate. I think you're going to get a higher frame rate, ray tracing, and faster load times, which are things that you can't really see from like a leaked thing like that. I would wait to see how they pan out.
I'll hold my judgment.
But all the other $60 games are going to be trying to give you the same thing with the ray tracing.
They're not going to be able to do it though.
Per second. You don't think Miles Morales is going to be able to do it?
We don't know the price.
We'll see. Yet. Yeah, we also don't know that. But I'm going to be in the minority here. I think I am super excited for this game. I love Call of Duty. I'm not like a I don't know. Like I just like it. I like pub stomping. I like the like getting in there and just going ham on a bunch of people.
It's gonna have.
I know, which I'm not. I wish they didn't have that because Black Ops 4. I'll stand by it. Black Ops 4 is fantastic. That game was so like every gun was overpowered to the point where if everything's overpowered, nothing's overpowered. But it was so ridiculous that like how broken some of those guns were. So I had so much fun just like leveling up one of those like the fire shotgun or the little dual like the akimbo SMGs and just running across the map with those, like racking up way too many kills. So I've always liked COD with that, and I hope I hope they didn't do skill-based matchmaking, but I still had fun. I know it's disappointing, but I still had fun.
I wish they didn't, because
multiplayer
that's when I
for
stopped playing
Modern Warfare. Because that gun, that even though there was more sweaties, I don't know. I think COD has like, it gets a lot of shit because anything is popular gets shit. But like, I think Call of Duty has consistently been at the top of gunplay. Like from the get-go of their existence, they have like super tight gunplay. Like you can go back and play Modern Warfare and like compare it to games that came out at the same time, and it's like, this still holds up. Though those other ones don't. And so like I'm super excited for the gunplay in this. I'm hoping, obviously I'm more optimistic because I'm just kind of hoping that, the last few I've enjoyed. I enjoyed Modern Warfare as a package. Like Warzone was really cool. I still liked the multiplayer. It wasn't fantastic or anything. I thought some of it was dumb, but I loved gunfight in Modern Warfare. Me and my friends probably put in like at least like 60 hours is just on gunfight alone. So I really like that. I liked Black Ops 4's multiplayer. So I'm hoping, I'm optimistic that this one will have something that draws me. Maybe it's the zombies. It's really good this time. Maybe it's a new multiplayer mode that I like, but I'm optimistic. I think that it's hard to say too much based on the like what I saw from the leaked footage. But
when did they introduce the health bar above players' heads?
That was in.
Is that brand new, or is that just?
That was in one of the Black Ops. I think I don't know if that was 4, but that was it was certainly in one of the Black Ops game. It's certainly in Black Ops 4. You have it.
Because I don't remember that in the current game.
So it's like brand new then. I like that a lot.
In Black Ops 4, it's definitely there. It definitely has that in 4.
Modern Warfare right now.
Oh, I don't think so. I think that they do.
Black Ops feature.
Strictly on
Yeah, I
Also,
think
it's a
that's kind of a Black
thing.
Ops thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's really cool.
Yeah, I also like the one you mentioned it, the neon vibe. I was getting a Miami Vice cocaine beach
like
kind of vibe, and so I'm hoping that they embrace some of that, like, 80s era, like the aesthetic of that they're going for, like 70s or whenever it's set, and go for that kind of vibe. I mean, that was a cool map to have, like, on the beach. I was like, oh, it's interesting. Hopefully they do some more stuff like that. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it though, but that's all. I also usually just look forward to them.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah. So I mean, I guess that's all we have for the gaming news and whatnot. But Chris, we're introducing you to our listeners, our viewers. So why don't you kind of give them a quick little background of yourself? Just talk about yourself a little bit.
I know you're working on a game.
Yep. Well, my name is Chris. I'm a film and video graduate from Drexel University, and I am a YouTube game critic and a game developer myself. Currently working on a game that we should hopefully have a trailer for next week or so, or sometime this week. Why not? It's called The Poison Roots. At least if we change it. But yeah, we have some business stuff we need to finish for, like, our LLCs and, like, with a Steam page, so we can, like, make sure that's official, because we don't want to. We can have the trailer out before then, but we want to make sure, like, we have the Steam page so we can just go, hey, go wish list it, so we don't have to, like,
nice.
have any other things. So we're waiting for that, but yeah, that's coming soon. It'll be out in the fall. We're hoping to get it by the end of this month, but we will see, because we had a lot of we'll see. We've had things pushed back before, so we're just, that's our optimistic date, but it'll definitely be within the next, like, 2 months.
Nice. Okay.
How was the process of developing a game? Like, how difficult is it? Have you guys been spending every waking hour, spending every dime you own? Like, all the horror stories we've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit on that.
Yeah. So this is our third iteration it's our second iteration kind of like an idea. We started in, like, 2018 in, like, December. That's when I first started using Unity, because I'm a film and video student. So, like, I didn't do game design, but I really liked games, and my friend, who was computer science with focus in game design, so he was doing some stuff there, and I was always kind of like, if you want to, if you're interested in doing a game, I'd want to help out on it. And then eventually he said, sure, let's do something, and then we started working on something. Did a lot of cool stuff that I was happy with for my first project in Unity, like, learning. But it was a mess. We had no proper planning at all. It was horribly optimized. It was, it looked pretty good, but, like, just horribly optimized, terrible. Just no idea what we were doing for the long term. Like, really bad. So we just scrapped it, went to start anew, and then did a bunch of pre-production stuff first, which was good. So we had a lot of that written down, and then we started putting stuff together. We made a trailer, which is the Silence of Ember County trailer, which is on YouTube right now. And we did more for that. And that was, like, probably I'm trying to think of when we started that. We started that in, like, the fall of 2019 and worked on that until March of 2020. And then we had we had a meeting with we had a meeting with the Drexel game design program that we were a part of, and they were like, okay, they like some of the stuff that we had and whatnot, but thinking about it realistically, we're like, all right, well, there's a lot that we need to do that we weren't really, and we hadn't initially accounted for when we started this, and so we're like, okay, this is like, we could do it, but it's going to take like a year or so, like. And that's, like, constant working for a year to get it out. And then we were like, oof, all right, that's a while. And they suggested, how about you make like because it's a story focused. It was a story focused game. So we were like, they suggested, how about you make like a shorter story focused game that is, about getting in, having a nice, environment and atmosphere, and telling an interesting short story that people can play. You can sell it for a couple bucks, which is what we're going to do. We don't know the price yet, but it will be like under $5.
Nice.
And it'll be short, sweet, and like we can, have it highly polished because we can focus on, there's only so much that you have, so it's not like you don't have to be like, okay, all right, so we have act 2 finished, and then now let's get to act 3, and we're getting that part of the game, and then you realize you just missed something in act 1, and it looks like shit, and you're like, oh, I gotta go. We missed that. If you have such a small thing, you can just it's very compact, and you'll know everything that's in it, so you know what needs to be like adjusted, and it's easier to do that on a smaller scale. So we can have it highly polished and just, while it won't be anything groundbreaking or anything, we could at least be like, hey, here's a cool experience that's well made, and we'll have that going for us. And most importantly, we'll get a game out, which is what we hadn't been able to say before, because we had
a completed
shot for the moon.
Game, right?
Yeah, we had shot for the moon and been like, why are we doing that? We're shooting ourselves in the foot by trying to do that. So now we'll have a completed game. So then we started to work on this one, and it took we started in March. So it's been 6 months. We had several stupid issues. Just a ton of things that cropped up. First was lighting. We had a problem with lighting because we're baking the lighting. There's 2 modes of lighting. There's a dynamic and baked. Dynamic is real time, and the way it automatically adjusts. So when games have the day night cycles, it's real time.
Right.
A baked lighting is what Last of Us 2 uses. It's when the scenes are set at that time and that look. And so baked lighting usually gives you a always higher quality, consistent, because you can fine tune
changing
what that looks like. Yeah. So there's not a moment where it's like, oh, this doesn't look right. Which is some of the issues that you see other games have. And Halo Infinite, the reason why that game looked kind of flat is it uses the dynamic, but they have, I won't go into detail because it's a obnoxiously long technical thing, but they have issues with the way they were doing it. Digital Foundry had a nice video explaining it, but the reason that they did that is because they use dynamic with an old gen tech for the models, and it looks a little funky at times. I don't know if you guys saw that demo, but some of the characters look flat, they just kind of looked a little off. But so we wanted to use baked because it's more performant, so you don't have to worry about rendering at real time, all the things.
Definitely.
But you can also then tweak it to be exactly how you want it. You can do more iterations, so it takes longer usually, but you'll get a better result, or at least a more fine-tuned result. So we did that, and it worked for Ember County when we were working on that. But then we went over to we started on the Poison Roots. We were doing we had a smaller scale, and it was nice, and I knew what I was doing, but the assets we had for whatever reason, there's just an issue with them that they didn't want to allow us to do it the way we had. Up until that point, the way we had done it, which was using the directional light, which is the sunlight, and then baking that in with real time, or not real time, baking that in with accurate reflections and bounces. So we would point it, up in the sky, it comes through the window, you bake it, and then it calculates how real light would hit the walls and bounce around the house to illuminate a room. And it didn't want to do it. There was something on the texture that stopped it from doing that. So I had to go super jank, and I had to take a bunch of area lights, which are smaller versions of that, and place them in every window on every spot that I wanted light to bounce, and try to recreate the bounces myself. And so it was super irritating, but it worked, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. But that was
to MacGyver your way out that situation.
Yeah. that was a rough start there. Then we had issues with
County trailer, right?
That was for
the
Poison Roots.
Poison, got you.
Yeah, Ember County is where it worked with the directional thing, like the first time. And then after that, we had other issues of like, just like we've had such terrible luck with stupid issues, and it's always like, it's always annoying because it's never like, oh my god, my like this just isn't working. Google, why isn't this light turning on? And then they go, oh, well, because you didn't click the thing. It's never like that. Like if it was something stupid, we'd like appreciate just being able to fix it. It's always stuff where we find an issue, we go, oh my god, that's a serious issue, and we go, no one online knows. We've had stuff where we've messaged the asset makers, like the people who make like the first person camera controller and like all the other things. Hey, this is a problem. Oh, yeah, it is. Oh, okay. All right. So do you have any? No, sorry. I don't know. Yeah, that's weird. Okay. Well, I guess we're going to have to figure it out on our own. So we've had several things like that are like, we're surprised. And it's funny. I like, one of the things about game development that's fun for me, like outside of actually making the games, that's kind of fun is the inside knowledge of certain things where you can like it's just kind of fun when I see something and I go, I know what they're doing. I know what they're using. I know that's a Unity game. Right
when
there.
You're watching other games.
Right. Yeah, you can see the little flaw, like the cracks in it, and you're like, oh, I saw that little stutter. That's a Unity stutter. I know exactly where that's coming from.
Like how they got around it.
Yeah,
it's did that.
Yeah, it's fun to do that. But there's a bunch of things like that like, you know, we had to figure out ways around, which is, you know, I mean, it's cool that we could do it and be like, hey, you know, we did it, and hopefully like it translates to a higher polished and higher quality like overall product. But it's certainly not ideal to have all those issues that we had. We had one that would be was recently, which stopped us from like doing anything, was that it would we would stream, or well, we had been streaming in the house. Spoiler alert: there's a house in this game. Whoa! But there's we would stream in the house to save performance, so we didn't have to like have it already in the scene, so it would you know stream in when needed, and that was the problem. Was we had other issues with that, so we were like, okay, let's with keeping the lighting correct with when we did that, because it would change. And then we were like, okay, well, what if we just put it in? Like, how bad is it going to hurt performance? And it wasn't even the performance was the problem. We started having just like the game, we would play it and it'd be fine, and then when we'd make a build, which is, you know, when you like, you know, like a finished yeah, we'd do that, and then we go look at it, and I wish I could, like, I'll send it to you guys like over Discord so you can see it, because it was insane. But like there was like, it looked like the sky was made out of a cheese grater, and it looked like every texture in the game was trying to like physically assault your eyes. Like it was like just popping and flying, and we're like, what the hell is happening? And we had like a solid month of trying to figure that out, and like not knowing what to do, and it sucked. And we eventually figured it out and got around it, and were able to go back to the streaming in, which was better, nice. And keeping the lighting, which was good. But like it was another issue that like no one knew about online, and it took us forever because of that. And we were talking about it the other day, like, man, why do we keep getting like the stupidest things? Like I know there's like issues that always crop up, but why do we always have like the unsolvable ones that like we have to be the first ones online like to do it?
Makes you wonder how many game developers are going through that. All these.
Oh my God, I can't imagine how many. Yeah,
and like all the mistakes and issues they're having that none of us ever hear. All we see is the completed game, and then I know.
Behind the scenes. Yeah, it's
Now
Yeah,
you know why
there's a
charging
lot.
extra turn, right?
You know why they charge that extra turn.
Yeah, oh man, there's just a lot that doesn't get like that you just don't know about with that like I can only imagine how much dumb shit they've had to. There's so much that like it's fake it till you make it. Like there's a lot of like just well, do you need this? Does the player need will the player see it? Okay, no, fake it. There's so many things that are like if you went and looked at the backside of it, like obviously like mountains and stuff in games. Like they're not real. They're just a
Right.
face. Like there's only one side of it. They don't have the other side unless it's something that you can like go over and stuff.
Actually
but like
climb or something like that.
yeah, even that like they'll put you on the one side. Like on like on Skyrim, you can you obviously like shimmy your way up the mountains, but like those mountains like a lot of them for smaller games. I don't know for Skyrim because sometimes bigger games are able to like make the entire model and just like in its entirety and then use that as one giant scene. But like with assets and stuff for smaller games, like every time you see that, like it's more than likely just one face. So you're only seeing
Just
the one
sliding
side of
around
it.
under your foot.
Yeah, like there's a little hill in our game, like with rocks on it. It's 100%. Like if you walk to the back of it, it's nothing there. It's nothing. It's just the front side. So that's because that's all you see. But you don't need to. You don't need to. Have anything all that extra detail because no one's going to see it. So save time and performance.
Make it work, like as efficient as possible.
Yeah, it's like shoving the dust under the rug.
Yeah, yeah, that's literally it. It's literally that. But no one sees it in this, so it's like, sometimes you'll have funny things when the cracks come through with like Spider-Man. I don't know if you guys remember the people on the boats. If you guys ever saw that, but if you go out into the water in Spider-Man on PS4, you look at the people on the boats. They have triangle heads. They're not actual like humans. It's pretty funny. They're not actual humans. But you never really, unless you go out and really look, you don't see that. So they were like, well, I guess we'll just, from far away, they're humanoids. They look human enough. But if you look up close, it's just polygon heads.
Yeah, I mean, we notice it like in a lot of other games like Ghost of Tsushima and Spider-Man and stuff like that, where they just continuously use like the same NPC.
Oh yeah,
copy and paste.
Yeah, I mean that's not good. You don't want to do that. You want to hide that. But yeah,
forest too. Like you notice that sometimes when you see trees or bushes, sometimes I'm like, dude, every
the same exact bush, same exact tree.
I mean, it's probably hard to make 1,000 trees, but
you need to hide it. The idea is like you really want to try to hide that stuff. Like Ghost of Tsushima does not do a good job because they just have the same hut like over and over. Oh, it's like they didn't even change it. Like it's like the same interior and everything. And that's the stuff that like they make those decisions. They reason it by saying it's more efficient and whatnot. But there also comes a time when with like that where it's like you don't want it to it's so obvious, like you do not want it to see that. You need to be smart about it and cut corners in areas where you can like effectively cut corners. You're like, okay, well, how many players are going to go out into the ocean and see the boats? Okay, not that many. Okay, so we can cut it there. And even if they see it, it's kind of a funny thing, and it's not like the game's repetitive, the game's visually there's issues with it. I don't like. There's nothing you really complain about other than just kind of laugh at it. So yeah, there's a lot of that stuff that it's funny to see when they do stuff. Like I said, like with knowing certain things, it's kind of funny just to be like, I know that issue. I've had that issue too. But yeah, it's a lot of cool behind the scenes stuff that certainly underappreciated by gamers in certain regards, but also I think people are, I mean, you guys have obviously know that I've gone in on games that I don't like because I do think that there's also a lot of, I usually don't like the term laziness because like oftentimes it's like, it's used to nitpick and then they say, oh, it's lazy. But there is a lot of things where I'm like, you guys like seriously couldn't fix that. Like you couldn't bother to fix that. Like I've my friend who's the programmer, we've played so many games where there's a dumb issue and he's like, I know the code to fix that in my head. Why? Like, how did you not like do something for that. So it's an interesting landscape for sure.
For sure.
It's neat.
Yeah. So why don't you tell everybody how they can reach you? You know, your social medias, give the name of your YouTube channel, all that stuff.
Yeah. So you can just search up Chris Rivera on YouTube. You should be able to. If you search up Chris Rivera game review. But yeah, I do a lot of game review stuff on YouTube. And I do occasional short film stuff as well and some other things.
Nice.
But that's I usually mainly stay on YouTube, and I'm going to try to do that because that'll have all information about like the games I'm working on as well. But then if you want to go to on Instagram, I do have young_nacho_gaming, which is my gaming focused Instagram where I do game dev stuff and some other like YouTube related things. Like I'll post like shortened versions of my reviews on there and whatnot.
Okay.
But yeah, that's basically what I use for that. Most of the other stuff I do will be on one of those. So.
You do great reviews, man. I hope our audience goes and listens to a couple of them.
Yeah, definitely check them out.
We'll put all the links in the description below.
Yeah.
So please, guys, go give Chris, your support.
At least the major games seems like
appreciate it. Yeah, I try to do all major releases, most major releases, and then some smaller stuff as well. I play a lot of games, so I usually, even if I don't review it as a full thing, I'll usually talk about it at some point.
Definitely.
Yeah, and we'll definitely have to be on the lookout for the poison. What was it? The woods or
Roots?
Poison Roots.
Poison Roots. Yeah. Yep. So that one's coming soon. So we'll give everybody an update when that one finally drops.
Yeah, we're looking for it, man.
Sounds good, man. Thank you.
We'll
appreciate it. Hell yeah.
Yeah, check it out, right? Get it off of Steam. But yeah, man, Chris, we thank you for coming and joining us on this.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was fun.
Episode. Yeah, and everybody like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on any of the audio areas that you can watch us from or listen to us from, Spotify, Podbean, whatever. Until next week, we'll catch you later. Deuces.
Peace.
Peace.
I love you, me.